I've got this ellipsis. Oop, we are now live.
All right.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Sunday. Welcome.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day, whether you're a mother or not, because you have a mother. There's no way you got here without a mother.
That's right.
There's just no way. Well,
miracle we know about.
well, barring our whole off-planet life, our extraterrestrial life conversations.
Right.
But presumably they have a mother too. So yeah, there's no way you're here without a mother. That's just the way it is. So happy mother to you and your mother. Which is much better than you and, what did they say, you and the horse you rode in on or something? I don't know.
Something like that.
So, what did I do today? Mother's Day. This was Mother's Day weekend, and I decided to just do my own thing. So yesterday I went to a craft fair thingy that Lisa and I were going to go to together, and she had something come up and was unable to attend. Something with her health. So Lisa, we're rooting for you. She did say she feels better. Have you talked to her today?
How was that?
It was smaller than I expected, but I got some great stuff. And it wasn't outrageous. I love buying things from the craftsmen themselves, you know. And so I bought this wonderful gift for my mother, and a piece of jewelry for myself, and just little stuff. No major purchases, but a lot of cool little stuff. And I didn't spend a whole lot of money. Like $80 or something. So it was a good haul. So that was yesterday. Then last night I went to an art show, and I'm looking for an artist for a book that I have got to get done. And so I thought, oh, maybe I can find somebody here. I did find somebody that might be a good fit. We'll see. And then today I went and gave my mother the gift that I bought her yesterday, and another gift that I already had, plus some European cake. She always complains that all our cakes here are way too sweet. She's from Germany. They don't have like buckets of sugar in their stuff like we do here. So there was a European woman there selling baked goods that she had made herself. So I got some for my mother.
Oh, nice.
And, so I don't think she was crazy about it, but
well, there's the intent though, right?
That was too sweet.
Right.
And, okay, let me tell you, my mother makes the most incredible cakes. She used to decorate them. So many people far and wide knew about my mother's cakes. But there was a period when we were kids. She's always been a health food nut, but there was a period when we were kids where she was making cakes with whole wheat. So she'd present this gorgeous cake with all the flowers, the frosting and all the, the chocolate shavings and all that stuff, and it was just beautiful. And then you take a bite of it, and it tastes like bread. Oh, it was bad. So I mean, when she says something is too sweet, she's way off the scale. So don't pay attention to her. So, and then I poured a bunch of organite today, a gallon's worth, and I made some cool creations. I'm really excited. Somebody who's coming to Butterfly has been wanting a particular piece, so I poured something for her. Well, actually 2 different pieces, and she gets to choose which one she wants. And then I made some others, and I got to order some more. I love making organite. So, all right, enough about me. We are going to be talking about releasing judgment today.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be.
I hope you all have some really good questions. I've jotted down a couple just in case you don't, but bring them on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my toughest one is I beat myself up about when I judge somebody else, but I think personally, I think it stems from because I judge myself really, really harshly, and so I kind of use that scale that I apply to myself to other people, and I'm like,
you're kind of breaking up, and you're a little garbledy.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. All right, I have the regular mic in that I always use. And is it electronic or is it my voice that I'm
It's electronic, I think. You're sounding a little robotish.
I am a robot. Wouldn't that be something?
I
Wait a minute, what?
You must have some crazy energy with you tonight.
You know what? I've got an ozonator running in the other room. Let me turn that off. One, it's making noise.
Okay.
You see my lovely work pants?
So anybody want to comment about what they did for Mother's Day? Oh, okay. Diane said you're clear for her. So maybe it's just to me.
Okay.
Okay. So
let's hope. We can only hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I got some questions, but yeah, she said you're clear. So let's just keep going.
Okay. So what about you in releasing judgment, Wendy? What do you think?
Say
that. What comes to mind when you think of that topic?
I can't understand you.
What comes to mind for you on the topic releasing judgment?
What comes to my mind is, well, not like, okay, when somebody says, well, they shouldn't be doing that. Well, I'm judging them then. And who am I to say maybe that they shouldn't be doing that? Or who are you to tell me I shouldn't be doing that? Because you don't know what my situation is. You don't know all my details. So maybe I should be doing that.
Yeah.
That's what came to my mind. And then, but then I was reading what you put on there about being happy. And I was like, yeah, you know, the two totally are together. They're connected, you know? So when we're standing in judgment of other people and we're worried about them, or we're judging ourselves even worse, then, you know, we're not really being authentic or happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And you know, and I do not want to be one of those grumpy old women, you know? And I'm sure that grumpy old woman or grumpy old man had no intention of becoming that.
Right.
But somewhere down the line, something changed and built and built and built. And, you don't become that grumpy old woman overnight, usually. Maybe it happens, but anyway. All right, let's get to the healing part.
Yeah.
If anybody has any questions about the healing portion, please post write that in the chat section now so that any Wendy.
What? I'm
so
sorry.
that Wendy can respond to you or ask me, and I'll tell you, and I'll respond to you. So we do this each week, each session, Sundays and Wednesdays. I go off screen, I tap into source. Well, I say my prayer first. Well, like I said, it's tapping in, isn't it? I start with a prayer, and then the energy, source, healing energy flows through, and you receive it. It will flow through you in whatever way is needed for you. You can have some request, some intention about where you would like it to go, but truly your higher self and your guides are pretty much in charge of directing where that's going to go and to what degree it's going to be physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, a combination thereof. So let it flow as it's supposed to flow. And close your eyes so that you are having that internal experience rather than paying attention to the stuff in your space. It usually lasts, I don't know, on average 8 to 12 minutes, would you say, something like that? I don't know. Sometimes it's as little as 5. If by chance you feel pain, I want to make sure I say this every time. If you feel some physical discomfort, please try to breathe through it. I guess the camera's up there, isn't it? Anyway, breathe through it. Nice, slow, deep breaths, which you should be doing anyway. And then if something's uncomfortable, it'll calm down. But something is trying to release. So when you tense up, that hurts. Then you're constricting flow. Keep breathing, relax, and let it flow through you. If you can't take it, we get it, and just stop and whatever. But All right, boy, there's lots of comments. Oh boy. Okay, so I don't have anything else. Let's do the healing part, and then we'll get back, and you can share about your experience, and then we'll get on our topic of releasing judgment.
And we have a ton of questions. We have a ton of questions.
Okay. Here we go. All right. Welcome back, everybody. I searched for our message. We're trying to, Wendy had the idea, and I'm trying to do it, of searching for a message each time. So this is my second time. Well, no, we did it a long time ago, but this is the second time since she brought it up again. So today, all I could get was the word magnanimous. Magnanimous? Am I pronouncing it correctly?
I don't know. I'm really having a hard time understanding you. I'm glad everybody else can hear you okay, but I'm going to be making faces at you a little bit.
I saw that. I'm like, she can't even hear what I'm saying. Magnanimous. If somebody please look up the definition of magnanimous.
I'll do that right now.
And again, I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly. Go ahead.
No, you are.
Okay. Anyway, somebody could look that up. And interestingly, I'm like, oh, that really is kind of the opposite of judgment in a way, kind of, sort of. It sort of ties in with our topic, but we'll see. Anyway, and then I was thinking about the whole.
Wait, I have it. The definition. Oh. It's generous in forgiving an insult or injury, free from petty resentfulness or vindictiveness, high-minded, nobility of mind.
Okay, well, I think we can shut down the webinar right now. We got all our answers about judgment right there. In that one word. What a beautiful word.
It's a great word.
Yeah, and you know, typically the message is a sentence. And this one, it was just that one word, magnanimous. What? Okay.
See, Shannon says you're garbled now, too.
I don't want to be garbled.
I don't want you to be garbled either.
Oh, no, that's not good. Also, make a note. We have to do a topic on mothers. You know, I mentioned earlier. You know, I said something about, oh, you know, if you're from an off planet, that you would still have a mother. But what do I know? You can be born out of a bucket for all I know.
Yeah.
So, but then that led to me to think this whole thing about being a mother. I think there's so much more to that than meets the eye. So let's do a topic on mothers, if you could make a note, please.
I will make a note.
Okay.
Right.
Any comments on the experience, or should we just move on?
Yep. I'll start with the first question. How do we best deal with angst over being judged by others?
By going inside, breathing, and finding God within. You know that you have God, you are God, God is within you. That other stuff, let that roll away. Tap into God within you. Of course, that doesn't make any of us perfect. Only God is perfect. But don't dwell on those things, on the imperfections. Dwell on the positive. Dwell on the godness of you. And that will, like water off a duck's back. Is that how you say it? You know, just let it roll away.
Right.
Focus on God. With it, you know, they're showing as a white shaft within you. White shaft of light at your core. Okay, next question.
The next question is, what if we have someone in our life we feel judged by? Is it better to just ignore it and try to work on our reactions, or try to address it with them?
Both and. Obviously, it depends on the situation. Some people clearly are just not going to hear you regardless of what you say. And yet, if there's someone in your life who is important to you and you want to continue that relationship, it's important to somehow figure out a way to get to that conversation. And I'll tell you a quick example. My sister, she has this way about her, oh my goodness, I don't even want to go into all of it, but she would say things and I would just feel terrible. She'd take this tone of voice. And this was, I don't know, 10 years ago. No, not 10 years ago, maybe 8, it doesn't matter. And one time she took that tone and I said, you know, it really hurts me. I'm really uncomfortable when you talk to me like that. And I mean, my heart was in my throat, you know, I thought, oh, this is going to be bad. And she kind of stopped and paused a moment, and she kind of didn't say anything, but she changed. I think she hadn't even realized what she was doing. And so just by bringing it to her attention, it caused a shift. And that doesn't always happen. I got lucky. I got lucky. But, you know, you never know. It's worth a try. And if it doesn't work, then, you know, you just, okay, I tried, and you go on.
Right.
But you have to, on the one hand, we all have to, that answer to the first question about tapping into the shaft of God within us, that shaft of light within us, so that things do roll off. And at the same time, anybody that we're in relationship with, we want it to be a mutually beneficial relationship. So finding ways to improve it here and there and tweaking it. And sometimes you have to take a break from people, whether it's for a day or a year or forever. Doesn't mean you don't love them, but if you're getting pummeled every time that you have interaction with that person, you know, that's not working for you.
Right. Sometimes you have to step back.
And they're saying, but do it with love. Keep sending them love. Yeah, it's easy for them to say.
Well,
we try, don't we? We try.
We do try. You know, I hope it's okay to say this, but it's ringing in my head, so I feel like I have to spit it out. But my mom used to work with a lady that they didn't really get along really well. And one of the things that she told me to do that might work in this situation too is whenever you see them or think about them in a negative way, just say that God in me honors and respects the God in you. And then sooner or later, they're going to shift. Their higher self's going to feel that, you know, we don't love each other. We don't even like each other. But inside, my God sees yours. And I love that about you, man. Yeah. You know?
Namaste.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Yeah.
Yes. And again, that starts with tapping in and recognizing and believing and owning that God is within myself. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not going to see it in you if I don't see it in myself. I mean, I can't, in my mind, I can say it and I can put myself down and say, you have it and I don't. But to truly embrace that, we have to believe it, that it's all of us.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, your mom was right, of course. Yep. And it's Mother's Day, so of course we got to bring up Mom.
I had to honor her. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready for the next one? Or we still have? Okay. How does one fully listen to someone without judgment when the discussion is about something a person does not ethically agree with?
They're showing like a boxing ring. So you're allowing the person to put all their stuff, their story, into the boxing ring. And your ethics are kind of outside the fence. You're putting that outside the fence to keep the space within empty so that the person can say all the stuff that they want to say, and you can look at it without your ethics, look at it, get the story, and then figure out how to make that framework fit. If that's what they're asking you. See, that's the key, I think. Hold on. Yeah, they're saying sometimes the person just wants you to listen. In which case you have to keep your personal opinion, ethics, morals outside the picture. Sometimes you have to bring them in, but as the person is saying the story, you have to leave it outside so that you can hear the story. Because you can't hear it you know, when you're putting your stuff on it. We don't, we're, you know, we're not the judge. Only God is the judge. And so we, boy, that's a tough one to, and it's going back to that judgment thing. So say you're somebody who, let's just say the Ten Commandments is your code of living, and somebody's sharing with you something that they're doing that breaks one of those Ten Commandments, which pretty much everything, you know, the Ten Commandments is pretty much covers almost everything. To be able to look at that person and see them as still as God's creature, even though they, for some reason, haven't heard of or understand or taken to heart the Ten Commandments or whatever your code book is. They're not lesser than you. Oh, this is really good stuff. I gotta like make a sign carried around with me on my. Hold on. To sit with them in love and allow them to be where they are. That they turn to you, somebody who has maybe more ethics than they do. You know, they may actually unintentionally or subconsciously be looking to you because they realize that you have some of that. Whether they take it to heart immediately or not, it's not up to you. But they did turn to you. They could have turned to somebody else who also doesn't follow the Ten Commandments, right? But they turned to you. And then you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. Obviously, if somebody is abusing a child or somebody's got a body in the backyard, you know, you might want to tell somebody. But,
You think?
you know, something like that is a little different. But that's, you know, that's not going to be your everyday conversation.
I hope not.
Oh boy. Okay. I hope that answers the question. If not, let me ask for clarification.
All
What's
right.
next?
I want to make a couple comments here before they get down to the bottom of the page. Kathy said that she had a sore neck muscle, and then her head began rolling side to side during the healing, and she feels better now, no pain. Yay!
Awesome.
And then Cindy said that she had a lot of facial itching. Her itching continues. Mine has passed, Cindy. Yay! But the pressure pushing in the center of her right hand and zapping in her finger. So she's still continuing. It seems like it went from tingles to zapping, like needle pricks. And then she got the needle pricks in her face.
Okay.
So one other comment, Kathy said that her aunts would say, "Don't you think?" ? When they were talking to people who are in judgment or something, and then she said that would always make the receiver kind of bow down with guilt.
Don't you think ?
Yeah, like it was ... like a blank. Like depending on the situation, she would kind of like I don't know, Kathy, correct me if I'm wrong here, but the way I read into it is, don't you think that might not be a good idea? You know that.
Oh, when they're talking to her about something like she might need help with or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Shannon said you answered her question, that her questions have been answered.
Okay, awesome.
So,
you know, this thing about the summer that I was 11, I spent the whole summer break in San Luis Potosí with my aunt and my grandmother and, you know, other family and whatever. Anyway, my grandmother was very big into, you know, visiting the poor people, as she would say, because she didn't speak English the greatest. Anyway, but so we'd be on the bus. She never drove. We'd be on the bus, and you know, those days you could smoke anywhere, but people be smoking. These people had nothing. They'd be obviously very, very poor, and they'd be smoking cigarettes. And I was like, I don't understand. If they don't have any money, for food and anything, clothing and stuff, that they're barely getting by, why are they spending money on cigarettes?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, because that's all they have. And that has stuck with me all these years. It was such a wise. I'm so grateful that we had that conversation, because that has come to me so many times when I look at somebody and I'm like, what the heck? And I'll think, well, maybe that's all they have. That's the only thing that makes them feel human. Maybe it's the only thing that makes them feel loved or alive or whatever. Those cigarettes is just the thing that makes them think everything's okay. I don't have any food, I don't have this, but I can have a cigarette. So, you just never know. You just never know.
True.
Anyway, okay.
How do we recognize when we are in judgment? Because sometimes, like what you were just saying, how can they do that? That's in judgment. And sometimes you might not recognize it. What's a really good way to recognize when you're in that space?
Oh my God, it's making my head hurt. Whew. Okay. Something that's really making my head. Okay. As always, how do you feel in your body? Do you feel good about it? What's that thing about the three long? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Is it wise or something? There's some saying, before you open your mouth.
Right. Yes. That's it exactly, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, when you're in judgment, for me, I kind of feels it behind my sternum gets kind of tense. I have noticed that. And it might not be that's the same body in your body, the same for everybody, but find the space in your body. What happens when you do that? And so pay attention. If it doesn't feel like love, it's not love.
Well, I have somebody in my life, and this is kind of why I wrote down that question. That she says things to me sometimes, and it always makes me feel really small. I don't think she knows. So I have to think that there's other people out there that maybe they're just not in tune. It's kind of like what you said about your sister saying those things. I'm sure she didn't know that that's how she was coming off.
Uh-huh. So that's a two-way thing. So one is what the person's saying, but also nobody can make you feel bad without your permission.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've gotten it.
Yeah, so, and again, that's hard because we're very hard on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know I have this conversation so much. There's something will happen, and I'll react a certain way, and I'll be like, okay, why did I react that way? What button did that push, and where did that button come from?
Mm-hmm.
It's an excellent exercise as you're trying to figure yourself out, because what else are you going to do? You can't figure out somebody else really, truly. You're not going to know anybody truly.
Right.
Knowing yourself is hard enough. But so if you can find your trigger points and release them and go, oh, you know what, that's why that bothers me, or this, that. So if somebody is in judgment towards you, you can just be that loving, God intention thing, and God, you can't judge God. So if you claim that and hold yourself in it, they can say what they want, and it's just going to bounce off you. Is that your question?
Yeah, and that was kind of what I was going to get into next, is for suggestions on how to release judgments. I think you covered some of that before too. Okay,
so how to release judgment? My judgment of somebody else, or somebody's judgment of me?
How about both?
All right, well, which one you want? Let's start with. All right, all right, well, let's start with ourselves. Right. How to release judgment that I'm. Okay. So when you're not going to catch yourself every time, but make a point of trying to, periodically, once a day or whatever, when you think of it. But when you start judging somebody, ask yourself what it is about what that person's doing that bothers you so much that you have to judge it. Because if somebody picks up an apple, you don't judge them. So it doesn't bother you that they picked up an apple. If you lean over and kiss somebody, that may or may not bother me. If it bothers me, I need to ask myself, why does that bother me? Because really it should be none of my business.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So looking at what it is that in yourself that is triggered by that other person's action.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. They're like, because there's like, there's no coincidence. They're like, all those things are done for you.
Oh, to expand our growth.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Oh
thank
my
you
God.
very much.
Oh my goodness.
Sometimes I think I must be huge. Not necessarily, physical, but spiritual,
Right.
because of all the things that are done for my growth. I must be huge.
Well, we all are, but we are all immensely, fathomlessly, deeply loved.
I know.
And so the whole universe is contrived to create this beautiful experience for all of us at all times, at any given life, any given planet, any given realm. Oh God, it's even more intense than that. It just keeps. Oh, I think. Oh no, I didn't say this on webinar. I think I emailed it to you, or we were texting it, Wendy. I said I would love, at some point in my experience, to be on the logistics department, to set up these things. Make sure that this person does this, does that, to make this happen.
Exactly.
I think it's such a cool job. I hope I get to do that at some point, at least for a while. But wow, that it's every little thing. Nothing is a coincidence. Well, okay, so if nothing is, yeah. Oh my goodness. Whew, okay.
I totally pictured in my mind. Have you seen Hunger Games?
I saw the first one.
Okay, we're in there in the control room.
Oh.
Too far over there, so they make fire come. Yeah, that's just what I pictured as you standing and being the game master.
And with my little maniacal laugh.
Maniacal when you're there, though. You're just too full of love. Okay. Well, this is just, when you're talking about judging, and when we're in judgment, we're not being happy. So happiness is a choice. Isn't happiness a choice? And why don't we choose it more often?
Fear. Wow. Fear. Okay, so fear. Let's get an elaboration, because that word just poof, fear. Oh, okay. Hold on. Because fear is heavier than happiness. Happiness is lighter. Happiness is more angelic, more spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
more earthly,
Mm-hmm.
more dense. So fear feels safe.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
It makes sense the way they're putting it in my head. I hope it's coming out. I hope it's coming out my mouth okay.
Well, it's kind of funny that you say that. We're talking about not having any coincidences, because my younger daughter is home today from college to come spend the day with me, and she and I had a long conversation about how there's people in our lives that we want to help, but when they don't want to help themselves because they're comfortable in their unhappy situation, you know, that after a while you just don't want to help them anymore.
Right.
You know, so and there you are. Fear, you know, you get comfortable in your fearful state or whatever. You don't want to change.
Your
Yeah.
fear of flying.
Yeah.
Fear of that those celestial moments that when you're like into, I mean, that it is a little disorienting, you know, especially when you're not used to it, you know.
Yeah.
I know there's been many times that I'm like, oh my gosh, I fell away. Am I going to find my way back? You know, because I get so out there and I'm thinking, you know, now I'm like, yeah, I'll just go. Who cares? Who needs that bag of bones anyway?
Yeah.
But yeah, it can be, it's a new experience. It can be an uncomfortable experience. And most of us live our life kind of on an even keel because the pain is so much and the joy is so much. But you need to experience all of it. Most of us, we just kind of live on this blase line, up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit. You know, it's pretty equal. You know?
Thank you.
Of course, you get the drama queens and everything's whoa. But that's another story. Okay.
Anyway, thank you for the hand gestures because you got very robotic again there. But I could understand you totally because of all.
Okay.
Anyway, we don't have any more.
Flipped up all the way. I don't want everybody to see my robot bones in here. You know.
She's an android.
Yeah. I only had time to put the mask on today.
There you go.
Oh gosh, can you imagine somebody like doing an outtake with just that? Okay.
We don't have any more questions, but we got a comment that we are very funny tonight. Thank you, Kathy. And yeah.
So I am okay. So Wednesday is, what is Wednesday? Peeling back the layers.
Peeling back the layers. Yeah.
Peeling back the layers. And then next Sunday is Ghosts Are People Too. Ghosts are one of my favorite group of people to work with. I love, love, love working with ghosts. So I was talking with some people recently and I'm like, let's do ghosts. Let's do ghosts. And that'll be after I come home from our retreat next weekend. I know some of you are going to be with us. I'm so excited. We do have room for a few more people. It is in Batavia, Illinois. We go from Friday afternoon or whatever you can get there. Some people don't come till after dinner or dinner on Friday. Through Sunday, 2 nights. It's $2.99. Can't beat that. And we have the most remarkable time. It's such a gift. It's such a gift.
I can't wait
to in that space. Yes. So if any of you are available and in the area or can get to the Chicago area, we'd love to have you. Like I said, we do have a few spaces left. And
we have one more comment before we completely sign off. It's a question.
Yes.
Okay. Going back to what we were talking to before about the ethical question.
Yes.
So it seems like if you cannot listen without judgment because the other person's making unhealthy or unethical choices, it may be best to create some distance from that particular person.
Yeah, well, those are two different things. So if you can't listen to them without judging, then that's you. That's on you. However, if they're living their life in a way that is harmful to them and by association to you, you know, there are people in my life I really can't spend much time with because I don't have anything to talk about with them because where they are and where I am is so completely different that there's like nothing. The only things that cross that we have in common are like, you know, the weather and I don't know, food or something. And you know, I don't want to spend all my time talking about weather and food. So if somebody's, you know, if their life is all about this and your life is all about that, then regardless of the ethics of it, you don't have anything in common. so you can do it without judging them. You don't have to say, well, their ethics are, I don't agree with their ethics. You use everything in common. And then that way you kind of, that's kind of a nice way to do it, instead of going, they're such a loser.
Well, it's,
you know, or they're such a lush or such a thief or whatever their thing is. You know, just, we don't have anything, we don't have enough in common. And I don't want to talk about, you know, green grass all day.
right.
That does make it better.
Yeah. It's a lot more positive in your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and of course, if they're a, you know, mass murderer, you just don't want to hang out with them because it's not safe.
Could be your turn next.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even want to go there. I mean, that was, scratch that. I did say that, but that was an exaggeration when I'm trying to make an extreme point.
Right.
You know, but, yeah. And, you know, and yet those people, even people like that, are worthy of love and are also God's creatures.
Yep.
Hard as it is for us to look at them without judging and without fear and without, you know, disbelief and horror, they're still beautiful creatures of God.
Yep. Sometimes they're the people you need to pray for the most.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes it has to be from afar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's okay. All right. All right. Again, we're on YouTube. Share us, view us, watch us on YouTube. Join us on Facebook. Wednesday is radio, so you go to the Om Times radio station, but it's on the Facebook Immersion group. I'll post the link, you know, the channel. Find us there.
Don't forget
And,
it's 7:00.
yes, Wednesdays at 7 until July. We'll switch to 8 o'clock in July, but for now we're on at 7. All right. All right. Happy rest of the Mother's Day to everyone who has a mother. And is that it?
Well, okay, I'm going to tell you 2 more things here because these are good. Cindy says her parrot really enjoyed the session tonight. He's very calm compared to his usual high energy, so she's thanking you. And then Shannon said, yes, the bodies under the basement floor always did bother me. Hard not to judge.
Why did you say the bodies under the Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Shannon, I just.
In that case, it's best rather than judge. It's a better idea to run.
Yeah.
No, don't worry about judging. Just run.
That's right.
All right. Yes. Oh.
Yes.
Kathy said, we'll talk about ghosts next week. Yes. Into the ghosts. Yes. Oh, I love ghosts. You know what? It's souls. Beings are just so beautiful. We are all so beautiful. And all our flaws and all our beauty of spirit. You know, my favorite character from literature has always been, well, I mean, since I read the book when I was a teenager, 15, I don't know how old I was. Sidney Carton from A Tale of Two Cities. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm sorry. I'm typing a note.
Okay, so he's always been my favorite character. Throughout the book, he's a very flawed person. He has no morals. He has an agenda. He's manipulative. And yet, at the end, he does something so incredibly self-sacrificing, so beautiful, so powerful. And he's always, I can never get that, his character. It's such a beautiful thing. And so, and it's true in life. You know, you can be the most horrific being and yet do something so incredibly beautiful. You just never know. We are so beautiful. Anyway, all right. Enough. They're saying hugs. Oh, I got somebody I got to work on. They just brought somebody. Huh. All right. I got to go.
All right.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.